came across a video that showed a map of America before colonization, and I found it so funny that some of the most sacred lands that we know, such as Jerusalem, Morocco, Egypt, all originated here. They all exist on maps pre-colonization. After colonization, these areas' names were changed. What's crazy is, even in Jerusalem, it was not initially called Jerusalem. It was called Jerusalem. It was called Jerusalem. It was called everything but Jerusalem. The Greeks came in and changed the name. The Europeans. Morocco was founded in 1956. In Egypt in Africa was not initially called Egypt. It was Kemet. After it was Kemet, they changed the name to Egyptus. After the Greeks came in and they started switching shit around, they switched the name from Egyptus to Egypt. And what I find even more mind-boggling about this is Egypt is a couple of cities in America to this day. And not only that, there's a special city called Little Egypt. And the reason why it's called Little Egypt is because of its relation to the story of the land of Goshen in the Bible, and how all the people from the north moved toward the south when there was this famine or this dry spell where the crops were not growing. And they all come to where? The Mississippi River, or should I say the Nile River. Y'all don't find it strange? Y'all don't find that weird? I'm just saying, it's real odd that sacred lands, that the name of sacred lands are on old maps of America. I find it odd that even the name of the Nile River is on an old map of America, right next to Egypt. I find it funny that a city in America has a reference to a Bible story, a sacred text. Y'all don't find that funny? It's when you look at these old maps, even the directions are flipped. Even the directions are flipped. And that is on purpose. They flipped everything because they didn't want us to find our origin. They didn't want us to find ourselves. This is the old world. We are the original people.
We are the American Indians, and this is Gooseneck Park in the state of Utah. We are the high-tech trendsetters. Let it be known worldwide.
This is Gooseneck National Park, Utah. America is Egypt. We are the American Indians, also known as the American Egyptians. And what you see here is an entire civilization covered in dirt and rubble. They did an excellent job on covering our story. How many years did it take them to cover our civilizations in dirt? What lies beneath all this rubble? Can anyone answer that question? Remember, 1,000 years of our story has been erased, and entire civilizations from the Grand Canyon, Utah, Colorado, California, Arizona has been covered in dirt. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. I'm the high-tech trendsetter, Newbie One.
Is it fair to say, Santos, before you go, that this never would have happened if we would have been just more awake and knew where we were? And this, so their ploy so far has played out. They were able to pull off this thing because we've been programmed for so long. Right?
People were just unaware.
Yeah.
They did a mud flood. They did some plagues. They did it to the Chinese with opium. They did it to the Australians. They did it to the American Indians with smallpox.
Yeah.
They just go into a country, plague the whole place out, and then take over their buildings. New York was already there for thousands of years. San Francisco was there for thousands of years. Los Angeles was there for thousands of years. They were built by the indigenous people who were black and Indians as well. The black people, they weren't brought over by slaves. They are the original owners of America.
Thank you.
Black people, African Americans. They don't come from Africa. They were already here, and they plagued them out. And they stole the Smithsonian Institute, which is Jesuit controlled, stole their knowledge, stole their history, and now we're just left wondering who we are, where we come from, where we're going. We don't know
he said
anything.
Wow.
Because that's what y'all wanted me to
they did a catastrophe on this earth just only a few hundred years ago.
This is the Texas Pyramid. America is Egypt. Let it be known worldwide that we are the American giant Indians.
America is Egypt, and we are the American giant Indians from the ancient world. Let it be known worldwide. This is the Texas Pyramid. How deep down in the ground? Who truly knows? We are the high-tech trendsetters, the advanced civilization of technology, agriculture, and free energy. And yes, we are them people. I'm Newbie One.
The books of the giants. There was a giant world before us, whether you believe it or not. You tell me, why would all these giant books be made? And these books are found throughout different parts of the world, from giant medieval manuscripts to 300-year-old giant books found in Spain. Among other countless ones I can name. I have always questioned, why would anyone in those times need books of that size? For example, a book written in the 13th century in the Czech Republic, weighing in its 75 kilograms, and in pounds that would be a little over 165 pounds. Now you tell me, how could any human of our size use a book that heavy?
This is the original Kingdom of Tamari. This is America, but it was not called America before. That is a new name, and that name also does not come from the explorer Americana Vespucci. Tamari is the true Africa. So all of those pyramids and those Egyptian hieroglyphs in the Grand Canyon, there are literally 140 different pyramids as opposed to what we call Egypt today. Morocco was in America. Algeria was in America. They moved those people out of America and put them into what we call Africa today. This was such a giant undertaking that I cannot even believe, and I cannot begin to fathom how it was possible to get the Moors out of America. You must have threatened them. You must have moved them from reservation to reservation. You must have told them if they don't leave, if they don't declare themselves as Moor, they become slaves. But obviously, to make money, you're not going to tell the average Joe that. You're just going to tell the elite, this is so incredible what I've been able to uncover that I will never get sick of looking at this. Like, J.P. Morgan in 1906 hired a photographer called Edward S. Curtis. He hired him to create a fake narrative of Native Americans. He hired Siberians and some Asians that were working the railroad, and he dressed.
Here is a less notable river in the western United States that is longer and wider, that more accurately fits the description of the Jordan. Does this look like an easy river to cross, or would you need a miracle to cross it? Most scholars assert that the biblical etymology of the word Jordan is Yarden, meaning ascending, presumably a river that ascends from high mountains. Well, the Jordan River, located in modern-day Israel, ascends from a height of around 1,700 feet above sea level to 1,400 feet below, a total ascension of about 3,300 feet. Comparatively, the Bear, Snake, and Columbia rivers descend from elevations of over 10,000 feet and descend on average over 5,000 feet. The reason that Bear Lake is a significant landmark is because of the Bear River, which connects the Bear Lake to the Great Salt Lake. This is important because the Bear River was once a tributary of the Snake River, and the Snake River is a current tributary of the Columbia River. When the Bear River was cut off from the Snake River, it coincided with a massive, catastrophic geological event. Most of the modern geological charlatans will tell you that the fallout from the Great Volcano eruption at Yellowstone changed the landscape and course of rivers in the West. The event also cut off the Bear River from the Snake River, consequently cutting the Bear River from the Columbia River. The Bear River is also significant because it is the longest river in America that does not have its outlet at the sea.
Many of these are pyramids that have been destroyed or covered by earth. They say the Indians had no architecture, they lived in the wilderness or on the plain in teepees or in some grass hut, and the really advanced one lived in wooden shacks or mud dwarf towers alongside cliffs. Those were the advanced ones. Just mounds of dirt. They say these mounds are crude and primitive, exhibiting none of the sophistication of ancient Rome, Greece, or Egypt, instead of stating what they really are: a working timeline of world history. With they bitch asses. Ancient monuments of the Mississippi Valley. And so all we're going to do now is just look at all these trash freaking monuments, all these dirt piles of dirt. Now this is trash. A perfect fucking circle with a canal. A perfect circle with a canal 1.5 miles to the Ohio River. Imagine seeing what this looked like when it was built and in current use. We have a canal that goes around the center of a mound and then flows 1.5 miles to the Ohio River. In the book, Ancient Monuments of the Mississippi Valley, most of the earthworks that were documented in the book were in Ohio, because the Ohio mounds were basically the most undisturbed mounds, because most of the mounds in the east had already been wiped out and or completely destroyed, as well as a lot of the mounds along the Mississippi. But in the Ohio Valley, many of these mounds were undisturbed. That's where they get a lot of this from.
Here are 5 things you didn't know about the hidden campaign to erase Black Hebrew identity in America. First, in 1650, Massachusetts Bay Colony officials publicly burned Hebrew Bibles owned by Black indigenous communities because they showed Jesus and biblical figures with African features. Second, the 1740 South Carolina Negro Act specifically banned Black people from owning Hebrew texts or teaching Hebrew language to prevent them from claiming chosen people status. Third, the 1830 Indian Removal Act included secret provisions to confiscate all religious texts from Black indigenous communities before forced relocation westward. Fourth, during the 1925 Scopes trial, hidden testimony revealed efforts to suppress Black Hebrew Israelite educational materials in public schools nationwide. Fifth, modern publishers still receive federal subsidies to exclude Black Hebrew Israelite interpretations from religious studies curricula. The most shocking truth? Over 50,000 Black Hebrew religious texts have been destroyed or hidden in federal archives since colonial times. Government memos prove a coordinated campaign to prevent Black Americans from discovering their true identity as the original chosen people.
So we can agree this is from a previous civilization, right? Right? But then I'm crazy. Like, what was going on back then? Come on, man. Look what was going on back then. Make it make sense. No, I'm crazy. Similar crust on buildings we see. Like, come on, man. There were so many different civilizations. And me questioning something 100 years from now coincides with just history of how there was multiple either civilizations or resets. Come on, man. Make sense. Metropolitan Museum about. Yep, it's me. It's me. I apologize for pointing out all the lions I've seen throughout the world. Come on, man. I'm crazy, and I'm crazy, right? Come on, man. How big those feet are, too. You can say we're wrong, you know? There's different civilizations. Cobra. Someone making fun of my head. What's going on here? I wonder where they got all this stuff from. Look at this one. This one's wild. Who was in here? Didn't know they had an obesity issue back in the day. This thing is wild. Like a little A-bomb. OBO. There's just a lot going on here. And I'm crazy for questioning anything, right? Why are so many owls on these buildings? Outside in Manhattan or Philly or wherever. Make it make sense, man. Sound off. Those bird people are awesome, man. I don't know about you. Look at this. All right, we're getting back to our regular scheduled broadcast. Man, I wish I knew what that meant. What, you got a fez on? Commodore. You must be royalty or something. What's going on in this one? This is a big boy. Snakes. Let's get a better shot. It's a little dusty. You can see. Telling a story. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. So much going on. One of those birds with the fez hat on. Is that their mascot? Sound off. They don't care about artifacts. They don't care. They don't care. These things are huge. What was going on back then, man? I need to know. Shout out to my man, Skywalker. I want to know. I love it. Make it make sense, because I want to know. Shout out to my man, Skywalker. The best. So many of these things. Same people that wrote history. Can you trust them for stealing this? I don't know. I don't know. They're alive today. What year did they start? Maybe when they started stealing. How about that?